Okay, in this video, I will be explaining more or less or pretending that I have a classroom where I am going to perform the lesson plan I created. So basically, to introduce the lesson, we'll be doing a KWL chart. So I will ask students for them to tell me anything they know about hurricanes because that's the topic we're covering. So in this at this moment, I'm going to pretend I have a class, and then I will write the information that they give me on this board, and that's how we're going to fill up the KW chart. So for example, I will ask students, hi students, does anybody know any information about hurricanes? And then students will begin raising their hands. So for example, if I have Blanca, I will let her talk, and let's say she tells me hurricanes destroy buildings. So I will write hurricanes destroy buildings. Then I'll have Sergio raise his hand. So Sergio, what do you know about hurricanes? And then he'll respond. So let's say he says that they have strong winds. So I'll write strong winds. Then I have Ernesto. Ernesto can say that when a hurricane comes, school is canceled. So I will write this here. School is canceled. Maria. So she'll raise her hand, and then she'll tell me something. And let's pretend she said rains a lot. So basically in this section, what I did is I asked the class about anything they knew about hurricanes. So now we are going to do the W section on the chart, and this will mean that each student will receive a post-it, and I will ask each student what they want to know. In this case, since I don't have any students, I'm not going to go and give them one individually, but I will pretend that Ernesto had a question. So he wants to know, are hurricanes dangerous? So his question, we will place it here, and we will place everybody's questions. So let's say Maria says that, or wants to know, what are the dangers of hurricanes? And then I'll put her post-it here. So everybody in the class will have a post-it, and they will write a question of something they want to know about hurricanes, and we will paste it here. Now, after all this is done, I will introduce students to the book, the informational text we are going to read, and I will begin reading. After a little section of the story is read, of the informational text is read, they are going to be writing on your journals a summary of what they listened to by answering my questions. So for example, a question can be, did you find anything interesting while I was reading the text? And they'll have to draw something that reminds them of what they listened while I was reading. So in this case, I will be reading, and I will tell everybody, okay, class, take out your journals and listen to what I'm reading. After that, I will ask students to record their answers based on my questions. So I will read the first paragraph. It says, in late summer, above the warm tropical seas that lie on each side of the equator, enormous rotating storm systems can develop with wind speeds of 75 miles per hour, 120 kilometers per hour, and above. These storms are called hurricanes when they originate over the Atlantic Ocean, cyclones in the Indian Ocean, and typhoons in the Pacific. The biggest measure 300 to 500 miles across. These storms can travel thousands of miles, sweeping inland from the ocean and leave a trail of destruction. High winds toss boats around, uproot trees, and topple buildings, with torrential rain and surges of seawater bring devastating floods. So after I read this, I will tell the students, did you find anything interesting? And they will write on their journals. They can write, winds of hurricanes are destructive. They will write whatever they think is interesting, they will write it on their journals. Now, they will be asked to draw something that reminds them of what they learned. So, in this case, they can draw trees falling down, or a house that's been flooded because of the rain that the hurricane is leaving. So this can be an example of a drawing that a student makes. The tree being unrooted and then a house being flooded. Each student will do these on their journals after I read paragraphs of the informational text. This will help them not only listen to the text, but also write whatever they think, whatever they found interesting. That way they understand not only as they're listening, but as they're applying it on their paper. They're learning and making connections. I will keep reading, and the next paragraph will be about tornadoes. So I will keep reading the pages that have to do with hurricanes, and then I'm going with tornadoes. So then I'll read. The most violent winds on Earth, tornadoes, sometimes nicknamed twisters, can travel across the land at speeds of up to 125 miles per hour, 200 kilometers per hour. They can lift objects as large as trains and hold them to the ground, rip roofs of houses and whip out the furniture, suck up papers and photographs and drop them many miles away, and even strip clothes of a person's body. Tornadoes have hit almost every state in the U.S., but most of the world's tornadoes happen in the open prairies of the American Midwest. There, the tornado season normally lasts from May to October. So after they know this, they will find what is